The spoils of cash-free bail are presenting themselves once again out of the wonderful state of Oregon, with this most recent example pertaining to a transgender woman, aka a biological male, who had allegedly fatally stabbed a cab driver mere days after being released from jail on cash-free bail regarding a weapons charge. We're going to go ahead and dive into the details of this unsettling case here on The Breakdown. Hey, this is Greg Coy from The Breakdown. If you're new here and checking out the channel on YouTube, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Also, feel free to follow me on Twitter at GregHoytLET. Anyway, let's get on to the video. It probably goes without saying that within recent weeks, there's been an alarming uptick in violent incidents, up to and including murder, involving transgender individuals, such as a school shooter over in Nashville that took the lives of 3 children and 3 adults. Then there was also the recent would-be school shooter who was thankfully stopped by police before they carried out their plan. And now we have this 30-year-old biological male who apparently stabbed to death a cab driver in Portland on Easter Sunday. On April 9th, 30-year-old Moses Jacob Lopez reportedly hailed a cab in Portland and wound up fatally stabbing the driver during the taxi ride, with little to no information being provided as to what may have led up to the incident. The name of the deceased victim has not been released by authorities, but the decedent was reportedly a driver for Radio City Cab, according to a statement from the employer. Now, what makes this case all the more unsettling is that days before Lopez allegedly fatally stabbed this taxi driver, this individual was arrested and then released from jail on cash-free bail in a separate incident where he allegedly threatened to stab somebody. On April 3rd, Lopez was charged with 2 felony counts of unlawful use of a weapon and 2 counts of menacing out of Coos County, Oregon. Lo and behold, after Lopez was released on cash-free bails for a crime involving felony counts of unlawful use of a weapon and menacing, he missed his April 6th court date. And as we know now, 3 days after the court date, Lopez allegedly fatally stabbed a taxi driver, again for reasons that we don't know why. According to Lopez's past social media posts, it appears he began transitioning sometime around 2018 or 2019. He apparently identified as a gay male before, where he fantasized attacking women while writing, "At times, I wish I was a woman rather than a feminine gay man, just so I could deck a basic bitch in the face. So annoying." Clearly, this man had some very violent tendencies, and it's also extremely alarming that he adopted a transgender identity, which then would have granted him access to women's spaces like washrooms, locker rooms, so on and so forth, and yet he apparently fantasized about attacking women. Now, another interesting tidbit about Lopez's past is that he apparently worked as a certified nursing assistant for around a decade, but state nursing records show that he was fired from an unnamed medical facility back in June of 2021. According to a probation order, it reads, "Information gathered in the Oregon State Board of Nursing's investigation shows that from 2019 through 2021, CNA engaged in abusive and threatening behavior towards coworkers." So Lopez apparently got fired from his job as a CNA for being violent and threatening coworkers. And then mere days before this murder transpired on Easter Sunday, he was threatening an individual with a knife, threatening to stab them. And given that history, officials and authorities decided to give him cash-free bail. He got a get-out-of-jail-free card after threatening to stab somebody with a knife. And what does he do days after getting out of jail? Well, he fatally stabbed somebody with a knife. Gosh, who could have seen that coming? Obviously, Lopez isn't getting out of jail this time, at least not on any cash-free bail shenanigans, and he has since been charged with second-degree murder and unlawful use of a weapon. During his first court appearance that transpired on April 10th, he, unsurprisingly, pleaded not guilty. But another curious aspect about this case is that Portland police failed to mention anything about this individual's transgender identity. In fact, they have yet to confirm it. The only reason such information was able to be confirmed was due to internet sleuthing and checking of social media profiles and so on and so forth. But historically, police outfits typically don't seem to take issue with identifying other characteristics, whether it be a white male engaged in X, Y, and Z crime or a black male engaged in X, Y, and Z crime. They seem to be all for throwing out those particular identifiers. But for some reason, they wanted to keep the lid on the whole, transgender just went and fatally stabbed a cab driver, and we don't have a specific motive yet. What can I say? Portland is gonna Portland. But another question that arises from this situation is, where is Lopez being housed in the correctional facility he's currently residing in? The Multnomah County Sheriff's Office has been contacted, and there have been inquiries made as to whether Lopez is being housed in a male section of the jail or a female section, but an answer has yet to be rendered. But knowing Portland, I get the strangest feeling that they probably have him housed with the females, which I'm pretty sure that's very comforting for the women that may be housed in the Multnomah County Jail. But as mentioned earlier, this is another incident that has been piling atop recent troubling and concerning incidents regarding transgenders and violent crime, particularly violent crime that seems to be thrust upon non-instigatory victims. It's only a matter of time before violence stemming from transgenders becomes a much more talked about national topic, which it is deserving of attention. But what this case also demonstrates is the utter failure associated with very soft on crime, cash-free bail policies that have been adopted by progressive jurisdictions. Call me crazy, but I don't think we should be giving cash-free bail to individuals accused of threatening to stab people, because when you do that, you're likely to come up with situations such as this individual in Portland. Anyways, guys, that's pretty much the long and short of it. Go ahead and drop your comments in the comment section. I want to hear your thoughts about this case, whether you think this is kind of like a nothing burger and shouldn't necessarily be associated with the concerning levels of violence from the transgender community, whether you think that cash-free bail isn't necessarily as big of a problem as has been made over the past few years. Whatever your thoughts are on the matter, go ahead and drop a comment below. Anyways, guys, that was the breakdown. Peace.